The Mystery of Room 666 by Jacques Futrelle. It was only a fleeting glimpse I caught of her, as she sped along the brilliantly lighted hallway, past the half-open door of my room. A young woman she was, with the splendid grace of youth in her carriage, lithe as a leopard, supple of limb. A young woman, and yet such a face. Youth was no longer there. It had been obliterated by the merciless hand of sorrow. But beauty there was, the cold, colourless, deadly beauty of marble. Her lips were slightly parted, her great dark eyes widely distended, and it seemed to me in that bare instant there was something of fear in them, horror even. Flying tendrils of her hair, escaping from the heavy veil, coupled with the pallor of her face, gave to her a weird, witch-like appearance. For 10, perhaps 15 minutes, I had been standing beside my open window, overlooking the adjoining roofs, breathing in deeply the clean, cool, salt-tinged air swept in from the sea. I had been in my room no longer than that. I had not even paused to turn on the electric lights on entering, but had gone straight to the window, opened it, and had remained beside it, motionless there in the darkness. Of late, I had not been well. It was some absurd nervous trouble, accompanied by giddiness, a pounding of blood in my ears, and queer, throbbing pains in my head, which at times drove me well-nigh frantic. The breeze at the window was grateful. It dissipated the oppressiveness of the room, and the tormenting pains were eased. As I say, I had been standing there some 10 or 15 minutes, staring out over the gloomy, uneven roofs below me. Perhaps you know the fascination of a single, scintillant point in the darkness. Perhaps you know how it compels your attention. Well, after a little time, I had noticed such a point of light, a mere glint on the roof of the house twice removed. I thought at first it was a fragment of glass, shining by reflected light from some window in the hotel where I lived. For no other reason than the sheer brightness of it, I continued to stare at the point of light, and finally it seemed to become a tangible object. A revolver. The thought startled me a little. Yes, a revolver. The longer I looked, the more certain I grew. The light was flashed back to me by the short, nickeled barrel of it, and it seemed somehow to grow clearer as I looked. I couldn't see, and yet I knew. Perhaps a minute passed, and then a trapdoor in the roof opened suddenly, and the head and shoulders of a man appeared darkly. He carried a small electric flashlight, and turned it about inquiringly. Finally he stepped out on the gravel, and glanced about cautiously, after which he made a tour of the roof. He paused inevitably at that point where I had seen the scintillant point of light, and, stooping, picked up a revolver. I had known it was a revolver, and yet a sort of shudder ran over me. By the light he carried, he examined the weapon, and I, from my window 50 feet away, shrouded in the night, looked with a curiosity no degree less than his. It was a singular-appearing firearm, short, sturdy, and rather bulky as to barrel. Indeed, it seemed to have 2 barrels, one above the other. In general shape, not at all unlike an old-fashioned Derringer pistol. After a time the man disappeared down the trap, and gloom fell again on the roof. The scintillant point was gone. All this was before I saw the woman in the hallway. I don't know just how many minutes had elapsed before my reverie was broken by the quick, distinct swish-swish of skirts. That, too, startled me a little, I think, because it seemed so near, almost in the room. I whirled about. My door was half open. I had not been aware of it, and I took a couple of steps in that direction. It was then that the woman flashed by, along the lighted hallway. Brief as my glimpse of her was, I noted every detail. The deadly pallor of her face, the terror in her dark eyes, the splendid youth of her body. Certainly it was not more than half a minute that I stood staring at the spot where she had been. And then, impelled by nothing save curiosity, unless indeed it was a suggestion of stealth in her manner, a mocking noiselessness in her tread, and the strangeness of her face, I went to the door and peered out. It was a hallway without turns in the direction she had gone, but she was not in sight. Obviously, then, she had entered one of the rooms beyond mine. Which one? I didn't know, and, besides, it was no concern of mine. It was only midnight. There was nothing startling about her being there, and the fact that I had not heard a door open or close was of no consequence in itself. Yet I wondered which room she had entered. Perhaps it was simply that my imagination had been whetted by the singular incident I had witnessed on the roof. I was just on the point of closing my door and turning on the electric lights when there came to me the muffled crash of a revolver shot. There was no mistaking the sound. It came from somewhere down the hallway, in the direction the woman had gone. For an instant I stood still, listening, but only for an instant. Then I flung my door wide and ran out. I don't know just where I intended to go, or what I intended to do. However, events, in their natural course, shaped my decision, for the door of room 666 burst open almost immediately in my face, and there was the woman, coming out. She paused at sight of me, and snatched her veil down, hiding her features. "What's the matter?" I demanded excitedly. "What happened?" She didn't answer. Instead, she tried to dart past me. Instinctively, I put out both hands to stop her, and seized one of her wrists. It slipped through my fingers, as a serpent might have done. I was pushed violently backward, stumbled a little, and went reeling against the wall behind me. When I straightened up again, I was just in time to see the woman vanishing down the stairs. I made no effort to pursue her. I didn't even pause to investigate the cause of her flight. Instead, I ran into my own room, 3 doors away, and telephoned to the office. "Someone has been murdered in room 666, I explained hastily to the telephone girl. "A woman fired the shot. I tried to stop her, but she escaped and ran down the stairs. She is still in the hotel. Don't let her get away." And then, for a little time, I don't know just what happened. My best recollection is of a sudden, crushing return of the hideous pains in my head, due probably to the quick excitement, and a sickening weakness in my legs. I may have fallen. I don't know. Finally, I heard the rattle and clatter of the lift door as it opened, immediately followed by the rush of heavy feet in the hallway. I peered out. Here was the house detective, and with him Verbeck, the head night clerk, a policeman in uniform, and a couple of frightened page boys. "Did you catch the woman?" I queried breathlessly. "No," responded the house detective, Garon by name. "Was it you that phoned the office?" I nodded. Garon stopped still, and regarded me curiously. He was tall, slight, with deep-set eyes, and the face of a ferret, done in chalk. I don't believe I've ever seen another man who shows in his countenance so little the colour of life. Suddenly he turned away, and went on to room 666, with the rest of us at his heels. The door stood wide open, and we paused at the darkened threshold, waiting for him to turn on the light. It came at last, a flood of it. The thing I saw there wrung a scream from my lips. It was the figure of a man, lying prone upon the floor, face down, with his right hand outstretched towards us, grasping a revolver. Beside him was a dark crimson stain, and from that, leading backward into the room, disappearing beyond the bed, was a little trail of blood. It was as if, wounded, he had dragged himself across the floor. Perhaps he had been trying to reach the door, or the telephone beside the door. "Is he dead?" demanded the policeman. Not dead? My heart leapt, and then seemed to stand still. I laid a hand upon Verbeck's shoulder to steady myself. Garon dropped on his knees beside the prostrate man, and pressed his ear to the body over the heart. "He's dead, all right," he said, brutally. With the assistance of the policeman, he turned the body over. Fascinated, unable to avert my eyes, I looked into the upturned face, and, looking, screamed again. I believe I should have fallen, had not Verbeck been there to support me. "Do you know him?" Garon asked abruptly. "You, I mean, Mr. Meredith." Thus directly addressed, I suppose I faltered. The horror of the crimson stains, the little trail the dying man had left behind him as he crept across the floor, the agony on the dead face, must have unnerved me. I remember my heart was pounding frightfully. My head seemed bursting. "Yes, I know him," I replied, the words coming with an effort. "Frank Spencer, his name is. I have known him for years. He was an old friend of mine." "You didn't happen to know he was stopping in the hotel?" Garon went on. His deep-set eyes were glowing into mine, with a fire which suddenly aroused an unaccountable anger within me. I seemed to feel a note of accusation in the curt, abrupt questions. "Why do you ask?" I demanded defiantly. "If he had been an old friend, and you had known he was in the hotel where you lived, in all probability you would have known the number of his room, particularly as it is only 3 doors from your own," Garon explained, patiently. "You phoned downstairs that someone had been murdered in room 666. You didn't mention Mr. Spencer's name, only the number of his room. Therefore, I assume that you did not know he was in the hotel." "No, I didn't know he was in the hotel," I replied, hesitating at the vague menace in Garon's manner. "I didn't know he was here." Garon turned to the night clerk. "How long has Spencer been here, Mr. Verbeck?" "Nearly a week," was the reply. "As a matter of fact," Garon went on, "there has been no one living in this section of the hotel, I mean on this floor, for the last 3 or 4 days, except Mr. Meredith here and Mr. Spencer." "No one at all." "And certainly no woman?" Verbeck shook his head. "But there was a woman," I blazed angrily. "I saw her. If you had taken the trouble to guard the entrance to the hotel instead of rushing up here, where you can do a dead man no good, you might possibly have caught her." "If the woman was in the hotel when you phoned to the office, she has not escaped, believe me," Garon assured me, quietly. "Every exit is guarded. She would not be allowed to pass." "If she was in the hotel," I repeated. "I say she was. I saw her." All this time, Garon had been on his knees beside the dead man. Now he arose, said something aside to the policeman, who instantly turned and stared at me from top to toe. "We know you have been ill, Mr. Meredith," Garon was saying, with quick courtesy, "and this excitement has probably been too much for you. I would suggest that you go to your room, and if you have any stimulant there, take it. You are white as a sheet." Supported by Verbeck, I returned to my room. It was only a little while after that Garon rapped on the door and entered. Under the influence of a quieting potion, I was quite myself again. The pains in my head had almost gone. He dropped into a chair. "The woman?" I inquired. "Did they catch her?" He shook his head, slowly. "No woman left the hotel from the time you phoned to the office," he replied. "If she is in the hotel, she will be caught, take my word for it. I should like to have a description of that woman, as you remember her, and just whatever else you know of all this." I told him, frankly, everything I have set down here, even to the apparently unconnected detail of a man having picked up what seemed to be a revolver on the roof 2 houses away. I concluded by giving him a minute description of the woman. During all that time he said nothing, only stared at me. Stared until I came to feel a sort of hypnotic influence in the deep-set eyes. "You didn't turn on the electricity when you entered this room, and you did leave your door open?" he queried at the end. "I didn't leave the door open," I corrected. "I remember distinctly having closed it behind me. It must have swung open." He arose, opened the door, then closed it casually. The bolt didn't catch. It swung back on its hinges. The incident, trivial as it was, brought to me a thrill of elation. "Why didn't you turn on your light?" he resumed as he sat down. "The room was hot and stuffy. I was feeling ill, and my first thought was to open the window." "I believe I stated the facts correctly when I said you had phoned downstairs that someone had been murdered in 666, did I not?" he asked. "Yes." "You used the word murdered?" "As I remembered it, I did." "Why?" "I had heard the shot. I had seen the woman escape, and naturally my first thought was of murder," I explained. I was excited when I went to the phone. "But you didn't know there had been murder?" "No, I didn't know it." "You say you heard the shot. You didn't by any chance hear more than one shot?" "Only one." "Was more than one fired?" "2 shots, at least. One of them entered Spencer's body in the back, just below the heart. The other was embedded in the woodwork of the door." He paused a moment. "The shot that was embedded in the woodwork of the door was fired from Spencer's revolver, the one he held in his hand when we found him." There was a pause. "If the 2 shots had been fired simultaneously," I suggested, "there would have been the sound of only one." "If they had been fired simultaneously, Spencer must have been standing with his back towards his assailant and would have been shooting in the opposite direction," Garon explained, patiently. "Therefore, one of the shots must have been fired after the other." I offered no explanation of this fact, an obvious one, now that he had called attention to it. "I heard only one shot," I insisted. Suddenly the mask of courtesy dropped from Garon. His tone hardened. "You didn't enter room 666 from the time you heard the shot fired until I came upstairs?" he asked. No, I replied. You are positive? Absolutely positive. You didn't so much as lay a finger on Spencer's body while you were in the room with me? No. I shuddered. Don't you know, he went on mercilessly, don't you know that there was no woman concerned in this affair at all? The question brought me to my feet, and I stood for an instant, swaying giddily under the blinding anger which possessed me. I tried to speak. No words came. As a matter of fact now, what motive led you to murder Spencer? Garon demanded. How dare you ask me such a question? My voice came at last. You make a direct accusation. Why? Your hand, man. Your hand, Garon exclaimed, violently. The back of it is covered with blood. I saw it when you met us at the door, just after we came up here. There, by Spencer's body, I called the policeman's attention to it. I glanced down at my right hand, amazed, speechless. Blood. Yes, a great splotch of it. It seemed to expand and grow until there was a perfect crimson sea of it. How came it there? How could it have been there all that time, to have passed unnoticed? So this was why Garon had suspected me from the first, and I had not misinterpreted his brutal questions. For a long time, I remembered nothing. When semi-consciousness came, I seemed to be looking down a long, narrow passageway, hedged with steel bars. At its end hung a rope. A man was being bound and capped. He was shrieking. When I opened my eyes, a doctor was sitting beside my bed. A few minutes later I was formally placed under arrest, charged with the murder of Frank Spencer. On the following day, a lawyer came to see me in my cell. He was an old friend of my father. He found me at the tiny wash-basin, scrubbing the back of my right hand. He asked many questions, in no way touching upon the murder, the while he studied my face, my eyes, with an expression of growing surprise. "I think perhaps you ought to know," he said, gravely, "that the pistol with which Spencer was shot was picked up on the roof of the house 2 doors away." "Yes, I told Garon that I had seen a man find it." "It was thrown from a window of the hotel," he went on. "The servant in the house who occupied the room immediately beneath the spot where the pistol fell heard it strike, and thinking that someone was trying to force the trapdoor, dressed and went to investigate. He found the weapon, which proved to be a Maxim noiseless." I was silent. "It looks something like an old derringer. The part underneath, which looks like a second barrel, is really the muffler." "Yes, I know." "Garon got possession of it," he continued slowly. "It was turned over to the police, and they managed to find a man who says he sold it. He will swear he sold it to you. You paid for it with a personal check." If he had expected to startle me with this accusation, he was disappointed. There were 2 shots fired in room 666, according to Garon. If one had been fired with a noiseless weapon, of course I could have heard only one. In a way, it was a point for me. "My boy," the lawyer said, solemnly, after a long time, and as he talked, his stern eyes grew dim, I've known you ever since you were a little chap. Then you were sickly, nervous, a weakling. I've watched you grow into manhood, with an awful fear upon me of what was coming. It has come. Your mother died in a sanatorium. Thank God that neither she nor your father is alive now to know." He paused, and his eyes grew stern again. His lips were rigid. "As the friend of your father, I shall do the best I can for you. But there's only one thing to do. You must plead insanity." I came to my feet in a rage, my arms outstretched to throttle him. Across the back of my right hand was a great crimson splotch. I shuddered, and thrust it behind me. "You mean that you believe I am guilty?" I almost screamed. "And you've just called yourself a friend of my father." "The circumstantial chain is complete," said the lawyer, gently, "perhaps with the exception of having established a motive." "Ah," I exclaimed triumphantly. "There was no motive. There could be none. That's where I shall beat them, and beat you, since you believe I murdered him." "Insane men need no motives," was the answer. "I will admit, to please you, that you believe you saw this woman you mentioned. I will even admit that you don't remember having shot Spencer. But you are not yourself, my boy. The disease that wrecked your mother's life— well—" He arose. "I shall plead insanity when you are arraigned." "And I shall deny it," I declared violently. "I shall prove that I am not insane." "The minute you do, you send yourself to the scaffold," he said gravely. "And all the skill of all the lawyers in all the world won't save you." After a time he went away, and I lay stretched on my cot for hours, thinking. The blood splotch still glowed crimson on my right hand. A long, narrow passageway, hedged with steel, and at its end a rope. Finally, I slept. When I awoke, some great change had been wrought in me. I saw clearly the way to save myself, to rend the circumstantial net which bound me. They all believed me guilty, even my own lawyer, this friend of my father. I would prove them mistaken, and I would prove it by evidence. Strangely enough, I began by sending for Garon. He came into my cell with only a word of greeting, and seated himself opposite me, with expectation burning in his deep-set eyes, his chalky face expressionless. "It is not a confession," I told him. "I know you believe that I lied about having seen a woman pass my door, about having heard a single shot. I know that the blood spot on my hand, coupled with the finding of a Maxim noiseless pistol, which is supposed to be mine, will be damning evidence in a court of law. I know all these things, and yet I am going to ask you to save me, because I know you to be clever, and I don't believe you would do any man an injustice." "Thank you," he said quietly. "In the beginning, you must assume that my story of the woman is true," I continued. "You need not really believe it, but you must act as if you did believe it. Act, in other words, as if you were trying to save me rather than convict me." "I understand." "Only one question," I rushed on, with the feverish exaltation of confidence and enthusiasm in my manner. "Was any trace found of a woman by any of your men? Did you find any?" "No," he replied. If there was a woman, she didn't leave the hotel that night, and there was not one woman in the hotel who answers the description you gave, not even a servant, he added. I may say, too, that no one connected with the hotel remembers that a woman entered the building that night. I am not assuming that she was in the hotel. She left it, and I dare say she left it within 15 minutes of the time I saw her. How? He queried, curiously. There are always fire escapes, I suggested. It would be only a drop of a few feet from the bottom platform to the ground, and behind the hotel at least 2 of these fire escapes open on an alley. Now, the woman ran downstairs from the 6th floor, where my room is. Therefore, if she did get away by a fire escape, it was either from the 5th floor or one below that. All the fire escapes open by windows into the halls. I hadn't thought of that, he admitted, frankly. As a matter of fact, when you saw the blood on my hand, you were so firmly convinced of my guilt that no particular effort was made to locate the woman, except to guard the exits, was there? I asked. Now, we are always assuming that there was a woman. If a woman opened a window and clambered out upon a fire escape, she would probably leave some trace of it somewhere, and of necessity she would be compelled to leave the window unlocked behind her. Of course. A strange expression was creeping into Garon's eyes. I was unable to read it. Further, it is well to remember that a woman is hampered by skirts, I continued. That being true, she may have taken hold of the window frame to pull herself up, and— Heavens, man, don't you see? There is a chance she left a blood stain on the window frame, if she did touch it. For a minute or more, Garon merely stared at me. In all this, he said measuredly at last, we must forget, of course, the blood stain on your hand. No, don't forget it, I exclaimed sharply. Remember it. But remember, too, that I tried to stop that woman, that I even took hold of her wrist. She wriggled away like a snake, and pushed me backward against the wall. I leaned forward eagerly. If there was blood on her hand, that's where I got it on mine. I hadn't thought of that, Garon said again. You hadn't thought of any of these things, because you assumed offhand that I was the murderer, I declared bitterly. Yet you haven't found a motive. You never will find a motive. Some subtle change was working in Garon's face. Had I convinced him of this new possibility? I wondered. I think you have a right to assume, he remarked, finally, that we didn't go as far in our investigation as we should. Believe me, now, I'll go to the end. And search Spencer's room, I urged. Search it closely. If that woman had dropped a handkerchief, a jewel, anything. He nodded. A fever of madness was upon me, but it was the madness of relief. He went away, and for hours, it seemed, I sat staring dully at the crimson splotch on the back of my right hand. Garon came again about dusk. At sight of him, I fairly leapt at the bars of my cell. The turnkey opened the door, and Garon entered, silent, inscrutable. Good news or bad? Which? Well? I demanded fiercely. On the ledge of the window, which opens to the fire escape from the hall of the 4th floor, he began, without preliminary, I found certain scratches and marks which may have been made by somebody clambering out at that window. The window was unlocked. I tried to shout my joy. I couldn't. My vocal cords seemed paralyzed. My body was tense. "It so happens," Garon went on, evenly, "that the fire escape has been recently painted. The even surface of the paint was broken by unmistakable marks of footprints. The footprints of a woman." Again, I tried to speak. There was only an inarticulate cry. Then, suddenly, came again those crushing pains in my head. The cell spun about me. "But the footprints," I gasped. "They would show if the woman was going up or down." "They indicate that she was going down," came the cautious reply. "Also, I found on one side of the window frame, at about the point where a person would take hold of it—" "A blood-stain!" I burst out. It was too good to be true. "Thank God!" "It seemed to be a blood-stain, a small one," Garon corrected, in the same unemotional voice. "I cut away the wood with the stain on it, and have turned it over to a skilled analyst for examination." "And if he says it is a bloodstain?" "Your story begins to sound plausible," Garon answered, in the same monotonous voice. "Meanwhile, at your suggestion, I made another search of Spencer's room." He paused, and there came some perceptible change in the ferret-like face, a narrowing of the deep glowing eyes, a tightening of the pale lips. It was warning enough. "I found this," he added. Casually he extended his open hand. In it lay a tie-pin, a solitary ruby, surrounded by pearls. I didn't scream. Again that long, narrow passageway, and at its end a rope. Here was a critical point. He had tried to trick me. If I had so much as lifted my hand to my tie. "One of the page boys has identified this pin as yours," Garon was saying. "Mine?" I queried, and I was surprised at the cool steadiness of my voice. "No, I have one something like it, a pearl surrounded by rubies. You'll find it somewhere in my belongings." I took the pin in my hand. "In just what part of the room did you find this?" "All the way across the room from where we found Spencer," was the reply. "It had been dropped near a window. The window from where the pistol must have been thrown. It's the only one in that room overlooking the roof. It was open." "Seems to me it's Spencer's pin," I remarked, heedless of his other statements. "I think I've seen him wear it. Anyway, it's of no value as a clue to the woman." "But," Garon suggested quickly, "if that pin is yours, if it could be proved to be yours, it would be the last link needed. You wouldn't have a chance to clear yourself." "True," I agreed, and I smiled a little. "I bought my pearl and ruby pin from Spinks. Perhaps there's a record there. And now, this Maxim noiseless pistol," I went on. "The police are prepared to prove, I understand, that the pistol with which Spencer was killed, the one that was found on the roof, is one that I bought and paid for, with a personal cheque." "Yes," he nodded. "I did buy such a weapon a few months ago, on the eve of my departure for Germany. I paid for it with a personal cheque, and either lost it or it was stolen in Berlin. There are possibly not more than 300 or 400 of these pistols in existence. They are all alike, and they are not numbered. If the woman came to this hotel to kill Spencer, and she knew such a thing as a noiseless pistol existed, Isn't it quite possible that she, too, purchased one? In that case, she could have walked in and shot him, and walked away with no one any the wiser. I heard one shot. Now we know that was the shot fired by Spencer, after he himself had been shot in the back. After a long time, Garon nodded his understanding. Therefore, there remain only 3 things for you to do, I rushed on. First, look through my belongings and see if you can find the tie-pin with the pearl and small rubies. And if you don't, go to Spink's and satisfy yourself I bought such a pin. Second, go to the gun shop where I bought the noiseless pistol. It's the sole agency in London, and see if one has ever been sold to a woman. Third, find the woman who left the bloodstain on my hand, whose footprints lead down the fire escape. You must find that woman. You've gone so far with me. You know there is a woman. She must be found. I extended both hands towards him in entreaty. On the back of the right still glowed that crimson splotch. I thrust it behind me, cursing. I didn't see Garon again for more than 2 weeks, but the following day I received a short note from him. It was like this. I found the pearl and ruby pin in your belongings. It has been identified by Spink's as one you bought there. 3 days later, there came a telegram for me, dated at a small town, 60 miles from London. Analyst reports that stain on window frame is human blood. Garon. That's all there was of it. But no man who has never stood in the shadow of death may know what it meant to me. Then came a long silence, a week, 10 days, and no word from Garon. Where was he? What was he doing in the small country town? My lawyer, this friend of my father, came to see me. I cursed him, and he went away, shaking his head. On the morning of the 11th day, Garon came, inscrutable of face, silent as ever. I beat upon the bars frantically at sight of him. The turnkey admitted him. He dropped down on my cot and sat, without speaking, while the jailer's footsteps died away in the distance. Then, from a pocket, he produced a small paper parcel. He opened it and held up a woman's glove. Some cry escaped me. I reached for it. "Keep your hands off," he commanded sharply. "There are bloodstains on it. Your life depends upon them remaining undisturbed." "You found the woman?" "I found her, yes," he replied quietly. "I traced her through a photograph I found in Spencer's trunk. It was a picture of a boy, a mere baby, made by a photographer in a little Sussex town. I went to that town. The photographer told me whose boy it was. The woman is that boy's mother. The boy is Spencer's son." "Spencer's son?" I repeated incredulously. "To my knowledge, Spencer was never married." "That's the tragedy of it," Garon responded gravely. "It's the same old story. A woman who trusted a man. The boy was born, and, in a way, Spencer was fond of him. He made liberal allowances to the mother, and they lived quietly in the small town. She is known there as Mrs. Rosa Warren, a widow." There was a little pause. "But the glove?" I demanded suddenly. "Where did you get that? What has the woman to say? Where is she now?" "She is under arrest," Garon resumed. "She admits that she went to Spencer's room about midnight at his request, and showed me his note making the appointment for a last conference previous to his departure for a long trip abroad. He was to transfer a sum of money to her. "And she shot him?" I broke in, fiercely. "Her story of what happened in that room is beyond belief," Garon continued. "She tapped on the door, she says. There was no answer. She opened it and went in, closing it behind her. The room was dark. She heard some sort of noise and spoke. After a moment came a pistol shot, the shot you heard. She thought Spencer was trying to kill her. Remember, this is her story, and opened the door to escape. She ran almost into your arms. You seized her. She struggled free, and ran down 2 flights of stairs. She knew there would be an alarm, and more to hide her own shame than anything else, she went through a window to a fire escape, and thence to the ground. The drop from the last platform is only about 8 feet. The tortures of hell broke loose in my brain. I rose, clasped both my hands to my head, and fell prone. Garon lifted me to the cot. After a long time, he went on. "Of course, now we know the motive for the murder. She loved this man. He had deceived her, and he was going away. At the gun shop, a clerk remembered that a noiseless pistol had been sold to a woman, but it is doubtful if she could be identified after so long a time. Of course, she denies this. And the glove—" Again he held it aloft. I turned on the cot and stared at it, fascinated. "I found it in her house," Garon went on calmly. "There had been no attempt to conceal it or even clean it. I think that's all. I believe the woman will confess." "And she would have let me go to the scaffold," I complained. A long, narrow passageway, hedged with steel. At its end was a rope. A woman was being bound. She was shrieking. I was arraigned and dismissed without trial. The woman had made further statements of a damaging nature, and, despite her pitiful protestations of innocence, she was held. The chain of evidence against her was complete. I remember only the final words of the judge who set me free. "An insane man who, by the sheer cunning of his madness, has broken down the circumstantial evidence against himself and proven the probable guilt of a woman now under arrest. The prisoner is discharged in the custody of his friends." 2 days after that, I went into the consulting room of a surgeon and held out my right hand. "Please amputate that hand at the wrist," I requested. He stared at me as if I were mad. "Amputate it?" he repeated. "Why?" "It's covered with blood, and it won't come off," I told him. Mr. Howard Meredith, whose statement is set forth above, committed suicide 4 days after he was set free. In a short note, incoherent and barely decipherable, he said, "It is not just that a woman should die for what she did not do. I killed Spencer. I shot him in the back, and I thought I had killed him. Then threw the pistol out of a window. He had said I was insane, so my act was justifiable. He shot at the woman who entered in the dark, thinking it was me. I bought the type in Germany. Garon is a fool. So is the judge who set me free." You've been listening to a bite-sized audiobook, read by Simon Stanhope. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like to hear more stories like this, please try the links below, and do click subscribe and hit the bell for notification of future uploads. You may also be interested in becoming a channel member. There are a few options available with various benefits. Click the Join button to find out more. Thank you for listening.